please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop, and those videos surprisingly do drop. I wasn't planning to make this video today, and that's normally the intro to a good, in my opinion, right? This is all subjective. That's normally an intro to a good video, because I had planned to look at a couple of articles that are just tearing apart Doctor Who Flux. They absolutely hate it, right? And this is very, very shill media. You know, it's Bleeding Cool and Screen Rant. They absolutely hate it. I thought it's so weird. I mean, I really don't know what's going on with that. My guess is two things, right? My guess is that first one is we didn't see Thasmin, right? I think Jodie Whittaker and Amanda Gill came like this close to kissing more than once, right? More than once. And it didn't seem, it was a platonic relationship at, the first episode, they fell into a bed together. I mean, there was a lot like signposting and signaling, and when it seemed like they're about to kiss in episode 6, right, it didn't happen. So I think the progressive liberals are mad about that, is my guess, right? I think they're pretty darn upset about that. Also, I think something that improved the past season, didn't make it good. I mean, listen, if you like it, great, good for you. But didn't make it good, in my opinion, was there was a lot less woke lecturing. And I understand the people who like the woke lecturing want to say, there's no woke lecturing there. Doctor Who's all... Oh, shut up. It's such a tired argument, which isn't true. Right? Anybody who wants to make that argument, come on my channel with me. We'll talk respectfully and nicely, but that argument is just utter bullcrap. Yeah, no, Doctor Who's always been political. It's never been politically divisive, right? It's always been, it's been quite leftily political. But for me, honestly, if you're talking about politics in Doctor Who, I think they really got it right in the Barry Lett's Terrance Dicks era, the Third Doctor era, because Terrance Dicks, who was quite right wing, he was like a big Tory, and he had Barry Letts, who was a big lefty, right? And I think that marriage of like balance, because you did get all the moral points in there, especially the Malcolm Hughes strips, but it wasn't divisive, right? It wasn't telling the audience, I hate you if you don't agree with me on every freaking subject. So that's really why I think. Really, we've been talking about these people for a few years, ever since they've invaded fandom and literally took it over. It was like a blitzkrieg, and we didn't realize at first, and then everything was like, whoa. But like, they're morons, basically. That's the bottom line. They're morons, and they have just two positions: good and bad on anything. Good and bad on absolutely anything, and. They've now put the Chris Chibnall, Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who in the bad box as opposed to the good box. There's no Thasmin, no woke lecturing. So anyway, that's what I was gonna do a video about. I still might. This is supposed to be a quickie video, right? There's a few news articles that came out which I think are really important, right? I kept thinking, oh really? I just did a news video on Friday. It's Sunday, but I think all these stories are pretty darn important, and most of them excite me, right? Most of them actually excite me. I'm actually fantasizing about a weird future where I can be making videos about Doctor Who and be excited. One of my regrets, and it's always a bad idea to have regrets, because listen, I'm a Bible thumper, right? I believe in God. If you don't, that's cool. Whatever. Vive la difference, baby. I actually had somebody comment on my video the other day saying that he hated, because I was going on this thing about bagels, Trump, and Jeremy Corbyn. I was saying, I hate Trump, I love Corbyn, but I agree with you on bagels, right? So, like, yeah, we agree on most things. Okay, fine. So let's get to the news. I'm only 4 minutes in. Let's try actually getting to the point of the video. Please like, share, and subscribe. That'd be fan-dabby double dozy. Thank you very much. And still, I'm holding out for wee Jimmy Cranky being the next Doctor. I know people think the female Doctor is pretty much done, and it hasn't really worked out. Wee Jimmy Cranky, baby. The first trans Doctor, right? My God, what? Nobody tell the BBC. Okay, nobody tell anybody at the BBC, because they will jump all over that. Wee Jimmy Cranky, I'm sorry, I just thought up a job for you and stole it from you. So like, share, subscribe, comment. Oh, by the way, if you don't know who the Crankers are, go Google it. Go look at YouTube after this. I love the Crankers. Okay, this is just an aside, but like, They must truly love it. The Crankers, if you don't know, are a double act where you have a little woman who plays a schoolboy, a naughty schoolboy, and her husband who plays a father, right? And they must have true love, because that is a weirdly mismatched couple. Anyway, I digress. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Oh my God, I've got so many comments to get to. Let's have a look at the news. So this first story I'm excited about, right? And, I was talking about regrets, right? Something I regret, and you shouldn't regret saying, because I said I'm a Bible thumper. I believe, I believe you are wherever you're supposed to be, right? There's a great character in a Alan Moore comic book, Top 10, right? It's a city where everybody had superpowers. And there was a taxi driver who would just drive you where you're supposed to be, like the Zen taxi driver, who would just drive you wherever you're supposed to be. So that's what I believe. But one of my regrets is I wasn't doing, I didn't start my channel when Doctor Who came back in 2005. I would have loved to have done that. Looking back now, I got on board when it got bad. But I am optimistic. Happy days are coming. I know a lot of people remember, I'm just optimistic, right? I know a lot of people don't think it's going to be the case. But I'm still optimistic. Okay, I'm genuinely optimistic. So let's look at the first thing that's made me optimistic. I tell you, I just got taken by the Israeli ad. It says "Sof sof sof, Hanukkah hu Chag Tov." In the end, Hanukkah is a good holiday. What on earth is that selling? I don't know. Listen, we're not clicking it. But here's what we wanted to look at. Doctor Who. Davis wants to scare the living shit out of you. This is exciting, right? Russell Davis actually wanted to do scary Doctor Who. This is really exciting, right? Because it's and Stephen Moffat saying it, who understands scares. So I think Stephen Moffat might be coming back as well. Now, I do want to bring up that this was a rumor that was going around last summer. Right, there was some kind of takeover bid. Right, there was a hostile takeover by Moffat and Russell T Davies, because they were so gassed at what happened to Doctor Who. And at the time, I thought, wouldn't that be lovely if that was true? Right? Wouldn't that be fantastic? Wouldn't that be fantastic? But come on, it's too much wish fulfillment. It's like if you were following the Jesse Smollett trial. God. Okay, Jason Smollett, if you don't remember, firstly, go and watch the Dave Chappelle talk about it. It's hilarious. But secondly, he very, very badly faked a hate crime, and then went on TV and cried about it. And the former vice president and the current vice president, Biden and Harris, both tweeted out their unwavering support. So he made it all up very, very, very obviously, right? And the trial was this week, which concluded with his defense attorney accusing the... I'm not making this up, okay? I'm not making this up. It sounds like I am, but I'm really not. It concluded with the defense attorney accusing the judge of trying to physically assault her, like climb over his desk to smack her or something. And when she demanded a mistrial, he said no. She burst into tears, and then it gets better, and then left with her mother. This is the world we live in, baby. This is the world we live. So, I am optimistic. Sometimes fun things that happen too. Okay, in 3 weeks, it's the beginning of the end. That's when the first of star Jodie Whittaker and showrunner Chris Chibnall's final three feature-length Doctor Who specials hit our screens. It's almost certainly a standalone one, I think. It's also Whittaker's Chibnall final run before Russell Davies returns as showrunner in a still unannounced new Doctor, with the new Doctor for series 14, along with who the next Doctor will be. Other things I keeping the dumpster fire speculation raging over whether Davis has planned to go for his newest go round with. Let me read that again. Along with the next Doctor, who the next Doctor will be. The other thing that fans are keeping the dumpster fire speculation raging over is what Davis has planned for his newest go round with the franchise. I want to know too. Right? He's got something in his mind, right? They're sunning up and. Frankly, I'm pretty excited by it, right? So who better to get a clue or two from than Stephen Moffat, who offered a little insight into what Davis will be bringing to the table once his run gets rolling. So yeah, I'm pretty darn excited to hear this. During a Q&A session, during a sit down with the Oxford Union Society, the Emmy and BAFTA award-winning covered a lot of ground. I got to watch this. Sounds really interesting. But they cover a lot of ground, but not just Doctor Who, but also Sherlock and Dracula. I like the Dracula, by the way. That came out about a year or so. It's woke. Yes, you got Van Helsing's daughter as a major character, but you get for me it really works, right? You get three very Hammer-esque Dracula movies that really work. You got the first one, which is like set in old Transylvania with nuns and vampires and stuff, and also the Klaus Bang, I think was his name. Now that should really be a porn star's name, but Klaus Bang played him. He had that right kind of 70s sexiness about him. And then the second one was it was a Hammer movie that should have got made. It's about the voyage that Dracula goes on to go from Transylvania to London, and basically eats everybody on board, right? So the whole episode is about that. And then the final episode is I felt was the weakest, but I love the concepts when they bring Dracula into present day, like Dracula AD 797. So I freaking like their Dracula they did. But at the 1655 mark, that you want to check out, because that's where Moffat gets into he's really curious about what Davis has in store. You and me both, mate. Admitting he knows a little bit after he chatted with Davis, Moffat makes it clear that fans shouldn't be expecting the same from Davis as his first go-round. I don't think we are, right? Look, it's 20 years later, right? Well, 15 years, close to 20 years later, right? The world has changed many times over. Don't think you know what you're going to get, Moffat culture. I think we're going to get really well-rounded characters, right? That's what I think we're going to get. I think we're going to get really genuinely well-rounded and interesting characters that you like, right? That you are invested in. More and entertaining Doctor Who, right? Good Doctor Who, well-written Doctor Who. That's what I think we're going to get. You don't. Elaborate on that. Moffat wrapped up the top by adding, he Davis, wouldn't be doing this unless he could scare the living shit out of you. It will be good. Listen, he's got a good track record of not being wrong, right? He's got a very good track record of not being wrong. On New Year's Day, Eve of the Daleks. Oh, God. Do you reckon the girl's name in this, Alison B, whatever it is called Eve? Could be. Couldn't it? Sounds like the sort of crap there. Eve of the Daleks finds the Doctor, and Dan trapped in an elf storage unit, which makes me think this was a Christmas special and they'd lost that spot. Also doing it in a terrifying loop with some unexpected guests. You mean the Daleks? There's a picture of them right here. And from the title, we think you can figure out who else shows up in the New Year's festivity. Alison B, Ajani Salmon, and Pauline McFlynn. I haven't seen Pauline McFlynn in any of the trailers. She's the one from Father Ted, right? Will be joining joining Team TARDIS's adventure following New Year's Day special. Fans expect a second one in spring 2022, and then a third and final one where Whittaker regenerates, or maybe not, and still unannounced into the new and still unannounced airing 2022 of part of the centenary celebrations. Do you think she's regenerating? I think everything's off the table, right? I don't know what they're going to do, but I think everything is off the table, which is exciting, right? So, but who is that next Doctor going to be? It looks very much like it's going to be this bloke, Omari Douglas, right? And I think it's pretty good news. I really do. Let's read the. So it's a sin. Omari Douglas and Russell T. Davies addressed Doctor Who rumors, and nobody said you're not getting the. Who was the guy who starred in it? Oh, what's his name? Alexander. Ollie. I can't remember his name. It's not him, and it's not him going, no, don't be silly. They're all pretty on board. Let's read this, okay? It's a Omari Douglas, Rossi Davis addressed Doctor Who rumors. He's got everything you need in a leading actor. Now that could be Russell T Davies being very professional and polite, but I tend to agree with him, right? I've done a bit of YouTube research on him, and he can really bring it, right? I would be excited for this Doctor. Honestly, I don't like casting people via skin color. I think that's pretty a bad idea. Having said that, I do hear the argument, and it's weird that we haven't had a black Doctor, right? I'm a believer in your television should reflect the demographics of the audience, right? So like when Doctor Who started in the 60s, you had a very small demographic of black people. And then you've got to wait about 20 years before that demographic growth, that population grows, and you get good actors come out of it. I think the first chance they could have really legitimately have had a great black Doctor would be in the mid-80s. I think that would have been awesome, right? I think that probably would have been the time to do it. But like, yeah, so now we have, again, I hate using the word representation. There's so many words that have been stolen by idiots, right? Idiots who can only say like is good or bad. That's no nuance whatsoever. They find Captain Planet a bit overly nuanced. By the way, I don't know if you watched Crowder. They went for a whole thing a couple of months ago. They pulled up a Captain Planet episode which dealt with AIDS. It's the funniest thing. He's got the AIDS. Oh, it's the funniest thing I've ever seen. Really? Well, I don't know. I've seen a lot of funny things, but it's awfully funny. Okay. It's a Sin star Omari Douglas has finally addressed rumors that he may be the next Doctor, which means he may be the next Doctor. The 27-year-old actor who played Roscoe Badatandi worked alongside Russell T Davies on the hit Channel 4 show and has become a favorite takeover from Jodie Whittaker with good reason. Now, by the way, I want to go on a little aside here to talk about It's a Sin and his character in It's a Sin, and how I think there's just this incredible realism, this incredible spiritual realism that I think Russell Davies doesn't realize because he's an atheist, but he records reality, I think, very, very, very well. So you had this character in It's a Sin, and he had like this religious family, right? And he was one of the few characters that didn't get AIDS, didn't die horribly from AIDS. Which, yeah, tell you, if you don't like people dying horribly from AIDS, It's a Sin might not be for you, right? But and it was really weird because he was absolutely the most promiscuous character in there, and you know, the least promiscuous was pretty darn promiscuous. The least promiscuous was more promiscuous than I've ever been, than I've ever even wanted to be, right? I mean, honestly, what I saw in the first couple of episodes takes a lot of energy. I like to sleep, baby. I like to sleep. Anyway, but he had this religious family, so I just imagine this fictional religious family praying and the good Lord like protecting his character. That's why I liked the ending. What's it? The season 3. Was it the Martha Stewart season with the Master where he essentially prayed, right? But it was so it was so I think what's the word? Organic to, again, the poetry years, which I love the poetry years. You could just see that's the sort of thing that the Third Doctor would have done. Anyway, I digress. Asked about the speculation he told iNews, well, they're tell you their first name in news, iNews. That's news to me. Oh, shut up! You knew, you boy. Very flattering to be thought of, especially with Russell Davies returning as showrunner. Davies is returning to the Doctor Who universe as showrunner in 2023 after Chris Chibnall steps down from the role. God, steps down. Did he jump or was he pushed? My mother's unpushed. When again we had this rumor about this hostile takeover a year ago, right? A year and a half ago. This could be it, right? When asked about Douglas rumors, he did not confirm or deny anything, but of the start. But he said he's just got everything you need in a leading actor. So here's what I think. I don't think he's been chosen yet. I think he's on the shortlist. I think he's on the shortlist. And I got the same vibe about him as I had about David Tennant when in 2005. I absolutely watched Casanova because I figured I reckon he's going to be the next Doctor, especially when they announce Eccleston was leaving after that first episode. Oh, that was a bit of a PR disaster. He's just got everything you need in leading out. He's fearless and limitless. Yeah, he's got a great range, right? He really does a great range. He stays great fun even when the subject matter is tough. That's true, right? Again, it's a sin. I think one of the best things they did last year on TV last year. I absolutely love it. Was it last year or before? You very much cared about this character because because Omari Douglas is very, very charismatic, right? So that's really important. I mean, listen, again, if you're a fan of the current era, God bless you. I just don't think Jodie Whittaker's charismatic. I think what's that line in 40 Towers when they discover Manuel has a rat? He thinks the rat is a hamster, and John Cleese Basil Ford is like, hamsters are small and cuddly. You try and cuddle that, you won't play the guitar again. I think that's a line. But yeah, I mean, like you've got a you've got a really good charismatic actor here. So yeah, I'm very much on board with it. Douglas is not the first It's a Sin to be tipped for the role of the 14th Doctor. Is it going to be the 14th Doctor? Everything's off the table. Everything is off the table. Ollie Alexander has was a strong favourite for the role. I just don't think he was right. I think. See, here's the thing. I don't think I think he was good in It's a Sin because he's a gay man and one can act themselves, right? I think that's my if somebody says, Tzvi, we want you to play Queen Elizabeth, I'm gonna be that's gonna be a stretch. That's gonna be if they see we want you to play a fat rabbi, I'm like, hey, Lumsman, I can do that. Yeah, I can fit in there. You see, so. And I think he was excellent in this role. I do. I think he was absolutely excellent. But I don't think he's an actor. I think he acts. But I think Omari Douglas is an actor, right? I think he is an actor. Rossley Davis is a writer. Again, it might not be what you want. It might not be what I want. Will it be good? Probably. On this page, I think they got a lot riding on it being good. Meanwhile, Lydia West, who starred in It's a Sin, and Years and Years, responds to speculation that she would be next time, saying it would be an honor. I just think she's wrong. I don't think that's the character of the Doctor. She's very maternal, right? And I just don't think the Doctor's a maternal character. I think the Doctor is a masculine character. I think there is masculinity and femininity. I don't think they're interchangeable. Since finishing his triumphant TV gig, Roscoe in It's a Sin, Douglas now heading up the west, heading to the west alongside Eddie Roma and Jesse Buckley in a new production on Cabaret. Oh boy, that's going to be awesome! I would love to see that. For me, I think the future's looking good, and the next indication the future's looking good is right here. This is why I'm making this video. Doctor Who audio dramas confirmed to continue until 2030. Now. I'm doing a review of the Ninth Doctor Adventures Volume 2 after I called this video. And Big Finish has had a couple of bad years. Let's be fair. The main range just disintegrated. I mean, absolutely disintegrated. Frankly, I think they should refund the money to the last 2 years of that. They just did garbage upon garbage upon garbage, and they had a lot of diversity hires. Now, diversity hire means somebody hired on their identity rather than their talent. Because it was very important to them, they hired female writers. So this current batch of writers are skew female, which is fine as long as they wrote good stories. They on the whole did not. Right? We had some really shockingly bad years with Big Finish. It seems to be they smelled the coffee, right? They woke up, smelled the coffee, and everything about them right now seems they're trying to appeal to. They're trying to distance themselves from liberal progressives, as is every freaking business. Every freaking business is trying to distance themselves from liberal progressives because they know they destroy their business. If Doctor Who magazine is smart, they would just get a whole bunch of new writers in because they've really made that magazine very boring, right? And that's my biggest right. Everything else they're reporting on in this issue, which I just wasn't that interested in, because it's just You know, anything that these liberal progressives invade, they destroy. Go woke, go broke. You know, there's a reason that works, because it's true and it rhymes. So there you go. So recently they had a massive turnaround, and I think they're just ending all the woke nonsense over the next year, and they're focusing on what they say was their tagline: "We love stories." Well, their stories have been garbage a lot for a couple of years. However, that said, I've loved Big Finish, right? I love Big Finish. I'd like to see them get a second wind, and now they got a chance of it. Doctor Who audio dramas confirmed to continue until 2030, which means Big Finish survived Jodie Whittaker, which I wasn't sure they were going to do. The series of audio dramas produced by Big Finish has been renewed by the BBC to create new stories for old Doctors until 2030. And I think Russ Lee Davies had absolutely a hand in this, right? When Doctor was coming back in 2005, Mal Young, I believe, who was like Russell T Davies' boss, was very, very nervous about the public being charged for things that might appear to be BBC, right? They got in a lot of trouble because there was I think a spin-off video or book from EastEnders. No, I think spin-off video from EastEnders, which they didn't show. They sold it, and so it broke their charter. So when they were going over everything for the new era of Doctor Who, they were going like somebody asked in the meeting, what about Big Finish? And Mal Young's like, what is Big Finish? And before anybody could explain, Rusty David leaps in and says, "Don't worry, Mel, I have everything under control. We're completely on top of that." Right? He saved Big Finish that day. Thank you very much. Right? Although when Doctor Who came back, they lost half their sales. I get a feeling that's also happened over the last few years again. So yeah, I think Rusty Davies is involved in this decision because they will be making Doctor Who during his tenure, and I think he wants hands on freaking everything, right? I think he wants hands on everything because he doesn't trust anybody to do anything for good bloody reason, right? Doctor Who audio dramas will continue to be produced by Big Finish in a deal that will see them retain the license until at least 2030, while Doctor Who has proven an incredibly successful show about to celebrate its 6th anniversary in 2023. The show hasn't always enjoyed modern-day popularity. Fans will be familiar with the Wilderness Years period from 1989 to 2005. Listen, they started in 2000. It was like the last 5 years of this, in which the show was seemingly... No, it was cancelled. It was cancelled, but still had a fan base, which was incredible. That shows the strength of Doctor Who. With no interest on BBC, it was up to fan-produced ancillary media to keep the flame and interest alive, with the Doctor's adventure continuing in books, comics, and most importantly, audio drama. Yeah. So if you don't know about them, there was this fan group called Audio Visuals that absolutely hated the JNT years, and so they made their own version, often a lot better. But then that fan group morphed into Big Finish, right? And when they first tried to get the license, they weren't allowed. They were turned down because they didn't have a track record or professional thing. That's why they got the license to do Bernie Summerfield audios, which was an audition for the Doctor Who stuff, and it's been going well ever since. Big Finish audio production company founded in the late 90s, who produced fully cast original Doctor Who audio adventures since 1999. These audio plays feature 7 of the 10 living Doctors, from Baker to David Tennant, and have proven a beloved part of the franchise. Until the invasion of the liberal progressive weirdos. Yes, yeah, it was great. Big Finish had been renowned by fans for feats like giving the badly needed lead actors a new lease on life, such as Colin Baker and Paul McGann. And I have to say, John Hurt and the War Doctor, they got another guy playing him now. That set just came out. I am looking forward to listening to it. They were even able to convince Christopher Eccleston to play the 9th Doctor after 15 years, despite his negative feelings. Comic Book has reported Big Finish will produce new Doctor Who adventures until at least 2030 in a new agreement with the BBC. In a press release, Jan Patterson, director of books and audio at BBC, stated this will allow Big Finish to create fantastic new adventures for the Doctors for the Doctors and their friends. Note the gender-neutral language and their friends for many more years. I doubt they're going to do Jodie Whittaker stuff. Jason Hayden, Big Finish chairman. I mean, honestly, if they do Jodie Whittaker stuff, I think firstly they won't sell any enough to make ends meet, and secondly, I think they're going to alienate the rest of the audience from the rest of the product line. So I don't see it happening that much, right? Jason Hagen, Big Finish chairman, indicated that this move will affect the company's plans, saying this allows us to really plan ahead and create long-term storylines and character development, not just for Doctors and the Commanders, but also for new series and elements. New series. He's talking about the Russell D. Davies, the Russell D. Davies era too, right? That's exactly what he's talking about. Also adding words of celebration was Nick Briggs. I'm not surprised, mate. Yeah, everybody likes to get a dream job, don't they? Creator director, whose name will be familiar to Doctor Who fans, says as indicative of how much influence the company has on the mainline show. A lot, right? A lot. Since its return in 2005, Briggs has been the voice of such iconic villains as Dalek, Cybermen, and Jadoon. By the way, the latest Ninth Doctor set, you have one mediocre story, one below average story, and one freaking awesome story. I don't know if I can recommend it on the strength of one story, but it is freaking awesome. I mean, maybe, I don't know, if the vinyl wasn't that expensive, just buy that one story. But Nicholas Briggs in it playing a Cyberman doing an incredible job. I mean, it's one of the best Cybermen I've ever heard. And you know, that sounds like hard when you have Cybermen because you think it's going to be monotone. Really good job. Anyway, I digress. Cybermen June, as well as several other Monsters aliens. His casting was due to the higher-ups being familiar with his prior work on Big Finish, on the Big Finish plays. Higher-ups. Russell T. Davies, right? And he got the job purely on that. And I think Russell, like on his first day, Russell T. Davies goes up to Nick Briggs and says, congratulations, don't screw it up. And he didn't, right? He didn't. I'm really happy with the Daleks in the modern era. They were essentially the only new Doctor Who stories being produced for fans. Several aspects of New Who writing has influenced Big Finish, with TV writers like Paul Cornell and Robert Sherman cutting their teeth on audio format. Love to hear a bit more Rob Sherman. Reworking his play Jubilee into the seminal Dalek. Jubilee's way better, but Dalek's a good story. And aspects of the Cyberman origin story, spare parts are used in Rise of Cyberman and World Enough and Time. World Enough and Time, kind of, sort of. Rise of Cyberman, not at all. I'm sorry. It's worth any Doctor Who fans time to pay attention to Big Finish, primarily for their consistent quality of the output, until about 2 years ago, until, again, 2018. I think 2018 is when everything really fell apart. It started in 2016, and they saw Donald Trump, and universally, the entire entertainment industry took a shit in their pants. Okay, it's just what happened. We were all there. We all saw it. Because of the quality of the output as an incubator of what could lie in the future of the show. Not really. Recent production news suggests that the show's next era may incorporate a shared universe of Doctor Who spin-offs. Yes, and I think this will be supported by Big Finish, right? I really genuinely do. Big Finish has been already produced a myriad of spin-offs over the spin-offs and crossover over the year. By the way, my favourite one is one of my favourites. There's a lot of good ones. Dalek Empire is great, but a more recent one, Susan's War, absolutely beautiful. If you like the first Doctor, absolutely beautiful box set. Big Finish already produced blah 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 blah. Unit standalone character like River Song, Doctor's daughter Jenny, with no regular run of episodes being produced until at least 2023. It's never been a better time for Doctor Who fans to delve into Big Finish back catalogue. I just wish they would do a streaming service, and they could do it on YouTube, right? They could have the memberships from YouTube, and that way it stops people being. You can still download them, but it makes it. There's at least an obstacle, which is really all you really need in web design. But like they can control the conversation, right? They can control. They can premiere things. They have such a huge back catalog, and they could use it as a way of getting people to buy the physical disc or buy their own downloads. Because these things would only be up for like a month, right? And it changes constantly. Like $3 a month for 30 releases. They would just do well out of that. So Big Finish, I wish you would just hear my words somewhere in the ether, because I just want the best for you. Fine, so I think the future looks good. Well, at least the far future looks good. The immediate future, not so much. Doctor Who's Magic Guild teases a confusing New Year's Day special. Darling. I imagine you find a lot of things confusing. I've seen your social media feed. You're not the brightest bulb in the patch, are you, darling? Now, having said that, I mean, look, come on, we've all seen Groundhog Day. It should be easy, but again, having said that, it's Chris Shomron writing it, who's a terrible, terrible writer. It's hard to imagine what it's going to look like. Well, it's hard for you. Here's the thing. Your lack of imagination is why you've been so bad. Yeah, like Jodie Whittaker's been so bad playing the Doctor, and you really suck as Yaz, right? Doctor Who fans are eagerly awaiting the upcoming New Year's Day special titled Even the... I'm really not. I mean, I kind of miss doing my live stream on Sunday. That was nice, but 10 o'clock. Oh, it's late for me, mate. It's late for me. Which will feature the age-old enemies and kick off the 2022 trio of specials to end showrunner Chris Shomron and Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor. I'm still amazed. Doctor Who survived Chris Shomron and Jodie Whittaker. Absolutely amazed. I think only through Rusty Davis. As more and more details about the special come out, we're slowly putting together a picture of what we can expect. It's Groundhog Day with Daleks, okay? It's not complicated. From a Doctor Who episode featuring Alison Bean and Adjani Salman, time loops and our heroes trapped in a warehouse with destructive Daleks. Yeah, it also seems like, let's make it a bit cheap. Well, we'll do it inside a warehouse. Manigail plays companion Yaz, has teased the episode is going to be quite confusing. Again, Yaz. I mean, Mandip. I imagine you find a lot of things confusing, don't you? I mean, let's see if you can bring yourself to think about it. But then again, whatever Doctor Who isn't, most of them. I mean, unless the Chibnall episodes, I mean, which are like this weird labyrinth of events that don't really make sense. Speaking of Doctor Who magazine, she explained, we did a lot of running and it's quite confusing at times. Being trapped in a time loop, repeating the same scenes, it gets closer and closer to midnight. Each time they filmed it, I bet they filmed it to be Christmas or New Year's, right? I bet they double filmed it. Each time they filmed a scene, it will be a different version of the time loop resetting, and Gil had kept having to ask the director, Annette Laufer, who has never directed anything for television before, not good news, which version of this again? And she knew straight away. Yeah, again, it's probably what? It's an hour long. There's probably what? 6 versions, absolute maximum. I mean, you don't even need to take your socks off, darling, to count them up. Yeah, I'm excited to see it. When you read on paper, it's hard to imagine what it's going to look like. Oh no, I can imagine it. What's it going to look like? Shit. I think we can all imagine it. It's going to look like shit. It might look good, but it's going to be shit. But it was good fun to film. I don't give a shit about how great a time you had. It was great having Aisling B with us. It's also she's so funny. We had such a good time. Plus, we get to fight the Daleks again. Yay! Everything we know about the new special comes from the trailer airing after the finale of the 13th season Flux, which saw storage owner Sarah and customer Dr. Yaz and Dan all trapped with upgraded, I think I would call them downgraded Daleks, in a storage unit. So there you go. The immediate future, bit wobbly, but we're going to survive it, right? It looks like we made it through. And I'm hoping all these toxic fans that literally came in and took over fandom, like took over Doctor Who magazine, took over all these toxic fans. I'm hoping they're going to melt away, right? I'm hoping they're melting away already. That's why they're all so mad at the current era, because it's not woke enough for them anymore, right? And we might just have fun again, right? We might just have fun with our silly little TV show, which is lovely, right? Which is lovely and is I think just meant so much to all of us, right? It's been a part of my life for. I mean, look, how long has it been part of my life over here? We see Doctor Who magazine, like the entire run, which I bought at the time. Okay, it's been my life, and it's just gonna be. I don't know. It might not be good. It might be awful. It might be full of agenda. That might happen, right? But I'm optimistic, and I think it's. Well, it's not, I wouldn't say it's safe to be optimistic, right? I wouldn't say it's safe to be. I think you have calls that you can be cautiously think, this might not be awful, right? This maybe it won't be awful. I guess time will tell, right? Time will tell. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin. You are Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.